this thing started. Let's go. This is my personal list for 2023, the best moments, gaming related moments that I had in 2023. But funny enough, I mean, I think this was a really strong year, and I didn't even touch the two contenders in everyone's list, Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't even touch them yet, and I still thought this was one of the best years. I don't know if I would say ever in a long time. And for me personally, I had a lot of time to play games this year, and I just want to run through my top memories. Let's go. Role playing a fucking outlaw and fucking cowboy in Red Dead Redemption 2. Some of y'all listening might have beaten the game, might have beaten it fucking twice, and y'all might have never seen this particular encounter. Maybe 2 or 3 chapters into the game, I just got to the big city, right, Saint Denis. And I'm doing I have like $1,000, which, fucking 200 years ago, I was rolling in it. I'm kind of glad what happened ended up happening, because $1,000 is too much in the game. Basically, I was at the point where if I wanted something, I could just get it. There was no friction. I was just doing missions, and like I barely even noticed what reward I was getting, because I was cool. I was chilling with $1,000, right? So I'm walking in Saint Denis at night. My friends are like, I'm very gullible. I tell my friends stupid shit that happens, and they're like, how the fuck did you fall for that? So naturally, fucking Arthur Morgan is just as gullible. So I'm walking down the street, right? I'm new in town. I don't know where the fuck I am. The guy tells me he's got some weapons for cheap, right? He's like, just follow me down this alley. Trust me, these weapons are great, dog. Nothing you've seen before. They're cheap. So I'm like, sounds great. I followed this strange man down a dark alley, all right? And what had happened was they fucking draw on me. They tell me empty my pockets, and he fucking pistol whips me over the head. I think I might have some footage. I found this on YouTube. Someone else experienced it as well. And I wake up in like a ditch on the side of the road, right? And I look up in the top left corner or whatever the fuck it is, $0, 0 cents. I'm destitute. I went from fucking balling, now I'm destitute, right? And the first thing I'm thinking is, I'm gonna get these motherfuckers back. Let's go. And I pull up the map, and I'm like, where was I, dude? Like, it's a confusing map. I mean, it's like a real city, it's fucking Rockstar. So, I'm trying to retrace my steps. Motherfucker, I am lost, dude. I'm totally lost. And it's starting to dawn on me, like, I'm fucking poor. Like, okay. And it put me into this place. It put me into this place in a role-playing sense where I'm just a fucking outlaw now. You know what I'm saying? I need some money. What does an outlaw do? So I clubbed somebody over the head, and I, went through their pockets. They got like $2 or something like that. And I got like a wanted level, and I'm fucking running away from the police on some $2. I couldn't afford anything at this point. So I'm like hard up. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, I had enough money before, so I had never interacted with some of the game's systems. Like, you could hold up fucking trains and shit. Like you could do a lot of stuff in this game, and I just wasn't interacting with that. And like, my Arthur Morgan was like totally fucking noble gentleman, supposed to be in a gang. So I didn't want to do anything in the city anymore, because cops are all over the place in the city. So I made my way, out into the countryside, into a little town, to a general store, right? And I stick the guy up. And they have the mechanics, like they hold their arms up when you point the gun at them. And I said, give me everything. Man emptied the register. It was like $30. $30, like better than nothing, but I was like, shit, like I'm still not where I need to be, but there's no wanted level. So I leave the store, and I'm about to get on my horse and leave, and I'm like, man, it's just not enough. And I'm looking, there's a fucking gun store. across the street, there's a gun store. And so I was like, It would be quick, in and out. You know what I'm saying? So I make the ill-advised decision to stick up a fucking gun store. So I go in, point the gun at the guy, and he's not all meek, like, take everything. He fucking aims at me, so I kill him. By the way, this is a video game. This is not real life. This is a video game. My neighbors can hear me. This is Red Dead Redemption 2 we're talking about. Anyway, so I kill this fucking guy, and I loot his body, right? And I'm like, oh no, dude. I find this item. It says like letter from his son or something like that, right? And I'm like, oh fuck. Like it hits me, dude. Like I fully felt guilty. But I was like, I don't have time to look at this letter right now, so I just took it with me because I could hear the people in town are like reacting to the gunshot. So I rob the register real quick. I fucking get out of there, get on my horse, I gallop away, right? They chased me for a little bit, but I got away, you know what I'm saying? And so I stop by this little stream, and I'm sitting on my horse still. I pull out this letter, this guy's letter, and don't you know, it's like a fucking stick figure drawing of this dude and his dad. They're just holding hands, like just a child's drawing. And I just killed this man in cold blood for like $50 or whatever the fuck. And I was just like, Rockstar, man. Like, you could see other games having this mechanic, but to go to the extent to have like that little note, that little hint of realism, and it gave me that like visceral reaction, that was awesome. And soon enough, I had more than enough money than I would ever need ever again. And so I didn't have to engage with the game in that manner after that. So, you know, I heard a rumor possibly on Reddit or something about a Red Dead 3 someday, maybe. You know, if one of y'all, I know I have a direct line to y'all over at Rockstar, I would consider making the player more hard up for cash and putting them in that situation where there's not a distinction between you, the player, and the fucking character who's supposed to be a gangster. And that's where that role-playing element comes into play. But I was kind of shocked because when I think of role-playing games, I think of a fucking stat system and equipping armor and shit like that. But like, I've never felt like I was role-playing more than when I was a fucking gangster. That was like a 2 or 3 hour session. I was fully into it. I was a little high. So maybe that helped me. Like, I probably could have just went back to doing missions and would have had money eventually, but I went on this whole fucking like 2-3 hour journey and I was in it. That was one of the most immersive gaming experiences I can remember. Number 2, Barrett gunplay in Final Fantasy VII Remake. The week it came out, I did play it for like 10 hours, but I ended up falling off because I felt like the game was too easy, and I felt like it had such an incredible combat system that I wanted to engage with the system in a way that the game wasn't making me, and I felt like I could basically just like, not button mash, but like just, I could just play in a way that was like aesthetically pleasing and not actually like strategize or use my abilities in tandem with each other or anything like that. And people were like, oh, when you get to New Game Plus, like it's more of a challenge. They just let me select hard from the menu. So I feel like I'm locked out of the experience I want to have until I beat the game, and then at the beat it's like, this is stupid. I will say that the game does get harder around like chapter 8 or 9 or something. I forget exactly when. It does get more difficult, but I got back to it this year and it was just awesome. Like, honestly, one of the best combat systems, some of the best graphics, like some of the best world design ever. I don't know, I have a sense that maybe it's more of like a niche title, but this shit is fucking raw. My favorite character is fucking Barrett. My guy fucking Barrett with the machine gun arm. I ordered this like fucking $300 action figure, but it's not gonna get here for like a year. I think it's in pre-order or something, but I'm fucking Barrett guy. And in the game, you get to go on like a date with either with one of the leading ladies or with Barrett. I'm like, yo, give me Barrett. I want to go on the bro date, dog. But what shocked me was there was a section of the game, and this is really cool to me, how much they flesh out the combat system, because they could have just made you play as Cloud and you have some like tiny control over what the party is doing. But no, you can switch to any active party member at any time. There's like a dungeon towards the end of the game where it forcibly splits your party apart. And so it's like, okay, here's these two characters without Cloud, or here's, you know what I'm saying? Like different party compositions, because that's what I was saying back when I fell off the game. Is like, I want to have to engage with these systems more. And so I will take back that early criticism that I did have, because it absolutely has a lot of depth and a lot of variability in the combat, for sure. And so the one particular section that I'm here to talk about today is one of my absolute favorite, maybe my number one favorite moment of this year. There's like a fucking Barrett solo mission, and you're just machine gunning down. It's not like shooter mechanics. It's very much just like an RPG interface and everything like that. But it was fucking awesome. Just the fact that like, as Cloud or someone else, when you come across a destructible fucking barrel or whatever the fuck, they would hit it with their sword or kick it or whatever. Barrett's fucking unloading. Yo, it's awesome. I was shooting every last barrel. I really got into his fucking rhythm of his combat, doing his moves and everything. It was so fucking cool, that section. And like, I don't know, like they could have not done a Barrett solo mission, and maybe some people played it and weren't as keen on it as I was, but I thought it was really fucking cool. I was like, fucking Final Fantasy VII shooter. That I didn't want that level to end. That was super cool to me. It's right here, the Steam Deck. I love this fucking thing. I gotta say, I've had a lot of consoles over the years. Maybe too many. Maybe that's even the problem, is that they didn't stand out as being like special or whatever, because I would just have most of them. You know what I mean? In a way that where if I could only have one, like if I was a PlayStation kid or whatever, I might have had more appreciation. There's one other console that ever made me feel this way, and that was the Nintendo Switch. And I'm not even a Nintendo guy. I'm kind of like a little disparaging of their like ethos. Just, I'm like, it's for kids, you know what I mean? Like, people don't realize that it's just for fucking kids. Like, I want to play like shit with adult themes, and like I keep saying, like, I want it to be difficult and stuff like that. And a lot of that shit is just cutesy or whatever. So I mean, it might even be hard. Like, I kind of tuned out of that whole fucking thing. I played some Mario, and I get it. I'm like, it's just cute, you know. And I don't really, it's not really for me, but I keep hearing about Tears of the Kingdom. I want to play it. Like, Pikmin looks cool. Like, I don't fucking know. I'm gonna check it out. But I was just thrilled with the design of the console. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, you can take home console games with you on the go, and then you bring it home and plug the same unit into the TV, and it becomes a proper console. And, you know, all your save data is just continuous. Like, that was fucking cool to me. I wanted to support that. You know what I mean? And maybe the Switch is kind of like the precursor to the Steam Deck in a way. But ultimately, I fell off the console because, like I said, I'm not really a fan of the games. And at the end of the day, I think it was also like the Steam Deck came around at a perfect time, where I've had a lot of free time this year, made some lifestyle changes and stuff like that. And I've had a lot of time to appreciate my Steam Deck, because I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. You know, if your only free time is like when you're at home and you're just sort of posted up in your little area, like there's no reason to have a Steam Deck if you just play here all the time, right? But maybe you want to play out on your fucking deck, or maybe you have a commute, you fucking ride a train or travel a lot or some shit. Or you have a job where there's like downtime and no one's fucking like looking over your shoulder or whatever. Like, there's a lot of uses for the Steam Deck, fucking playing bed or something like that. Like, it's cool, but not everyone, I'm not recommending everyone go out and buy it. It really, like, the stars aligned for me. So the Steam Deck can do everything. First, I started with emulation. It can emulate fucking any console because it's just a computer. And people have been fucking making emulators and uploading the games and shit for free for a long time. So it's not just like, oh, Steam Deck can do it. It's a computer with a fucking controller on it. Literally every console. You could emulate fucking PS3 games, fucking GameCube, back to, you know, SNES. It's a Virtual Boy. It's the shit you didn't even know existed, you know? And there's actually people out here literally emulating like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on, I don't think it's on Switch. I think it's on Wii U or something like that. But I think there's a way to do Switch games. I don't know, like it can emulate anything. It's really impressive. I didn't go down those rabbit holes. I was playing Eco for a little bit. Like, it's one of my favorite PS2 games. So that's emulation. Very impressive. Then there's just the fact that it's basically a portable console. Like I was talking about with the Switch, right? Almost everything comes to fucking PC. It's great for Steam sales. Like a game, you'd be like, that came out 2 years ago. Like, that's on the top of my list, something I want to play. Steam sale, $5. You know what I mean? Perfect for that. It's just perfect for that. So I've played a lot of games this year due to my Steam Deck. Ultimately, though, when it did come to playing a new game, I did still get it on the PlayStation or the Xbox to play it like on the TV. I'm talking about like a game that came out that day or something like that. Certain things setting up on the Steam Deck is a pain. It's impressive that you can do it. You can do almost anything, but you have to find guides and videos and stuff like that. And it was frustrating to me personally. I was kind of intimidated to even attempt to install Windows on my Steam Deck. That was a step further than I had gone. Like getting an emulator to work, one thing. Getting like a private server of an MMO loaded onto it, that was one thing. I really felt like I could brick my Steam Deck if I fucked up the Windows installation. And another factor was that one of the steps, like the first step was like, you have to have a Windows computer because you have to like download the Windows file onto a thumbstick or whatever. And I was like, well, right there, I don't have a Windows fucking computer. Like, no one I even know has a Windows computer. Nobody fucking uses Windows. Shit sucks. You know what I'm saying? It's all about Mac. You know what I mean? So step one, I was like, all right, well, I'm fucked. This went on for like 6 months. So the other day, I don't know what inspired me, but I looked up, something was in like the microwave. You know what I mean? And I looked up, I was like, I've got 30 seconds to answer this question. Yeah, the internet's crazy if you think about it, dude. Sorry, I'm getting off tangent. But so something compelled me to do a search, and I was like installing Steam Deck on Windows without having access to a Windows or whatever. And I found a video. I was like, oh shit, because I had watched like 4 videos, and everyone was consensus that you needed a fucking Windows computer. So my point is that I'll tell you in a minute once I remember what the fuck I was talking about. Hold on. So my point is, I just came into like a fucking inheritance basically of all these Game Pass PC games. So, you know, there's like 20 games that I want to play that are on there that I don't have to pay for. Some of them are 2023 like indie games. So I'll report back about that later. But just the fact that it's got like 3 separate utilities to it. I've been rambling, but let's go over it one by one. We got emulation, and then just the fact that it's a portable console that can play current games. And then number 3, you could download Windows to it. So there's nothing you can't do. You could play fucking MMOs on it. You could play modern fucking games on it. You could edit I could be editing this video on it. It's just a computer. That's just all it is. It's just got fucking controllers attached to it, like I said before. But yeah, so I love the Steam Deck. It's probably you know what? I'm going to say it definitively. I'm not going to drop the mic, but mic drop, Steam Deck is my favorite console ever.